Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to World of Warships for update 14.5 for the Summer Festival. It didn't feel like it was that long ago. We were already covering update 14.4, but now 14.5 arrives here on NA on Wednesday, and then on EU on Thursday. So, as always, you can pick up a day of premium. So maybe if you don't regularly have premium time here in World of Warships, try to claim this gift when you know you're going to have some time to play the game, rather than just claiming it and not getting any of the 24 hours that it gives you. So we're going to pick it up now because I do have some additional premium time. Alright, so feel free to use the timestamps below as we go through all these different parts. I'll try to be timely as much as possible. So the Summer Festival event pass is coming up, kicking off tomorrow for NA. And then ending mid-July, July 9th. So we celebrate the vibrant summer with the 2 progression lines. Lots of rewards are on the way. So the first progression line offers 3 days of premium account, the Boom enemy destruction effect, and Commander Marina Carmen Fernandez with 10 skill points and an individual voiceover being the final reward. So interesting, we're having more South American commanders brought in here, being of the female type. So, okay, that's very interesting. Can I put that in a new tab? I wonder if that comes from something particular, but it looks very like anime, or not anime, like it looks very cartoonish. That's the word I am looking for. So, interesting. The second progression line for 2,500 doubloons will immediately grant you the Pin-Up Summer Permanent Camouflage. Other notable rewards include Italian Tier 6 Premium Cruiser, Duca d'Aosta, and a total of 150 Summer Tokens to progress you through the Summer Festival event in the Armory. So I guess you'd have to compare how much do the Summer Tokens cost and weigh that against the 2,500 doubloons if you, let's say, already have Duca d'Aosta. But if you don't have Duca d'Aosta, let me go to the Armory. Let's find out how much the Duca d'Aosta is worth. Or I feel like I'm changing the name of that ship every time now. For doubloons, Italian, 5,000 doubloons. So if you play the game somewhat consistently, I mean, you don't have to necessarily do it every single day, but it'd be totally worth probably picking that up, because you're technically saving 2,500 doubloons if you don't already own the ship. So in that sense, it can be worth it. But if you already own Duca d'Aosta, then the question is, how much are 150 summer tokens worth getting through the premium shop, or however which way that Wargaming has decided it's time to credit it. See, this is the Pin-Up Camouflage. Kind of interesting. So it feels like between the Pin-Up Permanent Camouflage and this Commander, again, I'm getting the vibes that, I mean, they pulled back a little bit on these Commanders, but there's 2 of them. One is for coal. I thought they're both in here. Yeah, they're both right here. Just one's for coal and one's for doubloons. So that was last year during the summer event, I guess it was. So they've kind of somewhat continuing on with that theme. If you already own the Duca d'Aosta, you'll receive 7 million credits. So then it becomes a question of how much would 7 million credits be worth in terms of 2,500 doubloons. So there'll be another article on that. Asymmetric Battles are coming back here in update 14.5, effective as of, what is this, Thursday? No, Wednesday, for NA, ending the 9th of July. You have fun, test your tactics and skills in fights between 5 players and 12 bots. Tier 6 through Tier 10 ships and super ships, with a maximum of 1 tier difference between teammates. You can have full divisions up to 5. Unique commander talents will be disabled to update 14.5 for this battle type due to technical limitations. I don't remember if that was a thing before, so it's like maybe not activating Lucians or something like that, I guess. Yeah. Bot ships, which won't include submarines, will be 2 tiers lower than each tier represented. For instance, if the player's team has only tier 7, they will face tier 5 bots. If they are tier 8 and 9, then they'll be 6 and 7 in terms of the bots. Unbreakable Line. Sinking is not the end of ships. Ships respawn after destruction. So this is also is known as the respawn event, where you're playing for objectives against players. So the battles went quite quickly, and you fought for contested areas. And really, to sum up the game-winning strategy, you die, then you respawn back just outside of the map coming in. Mute my phone. Is basically your team. You had to get an effective control of a cap. Maybe it's running up on this island like an A, as an example, if you can see it on the screen. But kind of getting a lockdown position, because basically whichever team gets control of the cap first is normally the team that wins. So respawn event is not a passive gameplay. So if you're not playing somewhat aggressively, then chances are you're likely going to lose. So more the brawling ships and destroyers with fast reloading torpedoes are kind of quite good. So it's 7v7, tier 9 and tier 10 cruisers, battleships and destroyers, up to 4 cruisers, 4 battleships, and 3 destroyers. Be more details in a separate article. We also have the second group of experimental ships coming into the game. So we have the Protector, the Hotaka, and I'm not going to pronounce this one right, the Varese. From the second group of experimental ships, the trio is designed for close to medium range brawls, as they are equipped with strong secondary batteries. Moreover, as they lose hit points, their secondary guns gradually improve, with their rate of fire and range increasing as they get closer to minimum HP threshold. So each of them are designed with strong secondary. So it looks like that's 127s here. You got a battleship. I've heard this one's quite strong. What do you have here? You have... The Protector has 7 305s. 7 305s. 2, 3, 2. Okay. Yeah, okay. I thought it was an Alaska hull, but I wasn't sure. Main battery layout was featured. Okay, the Hotaka. Battle cruiser concept. With 410, right, armed with the guns of 410 or higher caliber. Okay, it doesn't say which it has. And then the Italian cruiser gets 320s, 8 320s. 2 quadruple turrets placed amidship, while the secondary battery mounts were relocated to the fore and aft ends of the ship. So more of the secondary battery layout. You can see some decently sized secondary caliber there along the back. Oh wait, no. Wait. 2 quadruple turrets placed amidships. Oh, okay, so this is like the... so that's your main battery in here. And then these are secondary batteries. Okay, so that's like the other Italian cruiser. I don't remember the name of it. So if you have all access to experimental ships or research already, you'll need either to spend some free XP or fight 10 battles playing tier 9 or higher ships. Once unlocked, you can research ship components for credits and action reports earned via combat missions. Note that each experimental ship must be researched sequentially. Experimental ships allow you to complete dedicated missions, rewarding a hefty pile of coal. So I was kind of curious. So you already been getting action reports throughout update 14.3 and 4, and I was like, do they get to accumulate or will they wipe them out? Because potentially you could, depending on your action reports, grind through the ships quite quickly, but it also depends on how much credits. Right now these ships will leave the game in update 14.7 unless Wargaming changes their mind. So I don't remember if you'll get any of your credits back that you sink into these ships, but one way to look at it, if they do, is that you're getting a lot of coal from doing the dedicated missions for experimental ships. They're also going to have a leaderboard. During the first week of Update 14.5, you'll be able to test your skills in handling the Oregon. From the first group of experimental ships, achieve a place on the leaderboard by dealing most total damage in a single random battle, and you'll receive some valuable rewards. Participate, fight at least one random battle, and deal some damage with Oregon. So, 25 players will receive the Tier 9 American Destroyer Johnston. Then 26 to 50 players will get 30,000 coal, 51 to 100. 10,000 coal participation, 40,000 Elite Commander XP. If you already own the Johnson, you'll get 5,000 steel as compensation inside of the ship. Kind of feel like that's a low amount, but again, like, can't really complain when it doesn't cost you anything besides already in-game having the Oregon to play. For more information will be available in a separate article. The leaderboard for the next update will be open for all players who have researched the Varesei. So I'm gonna go for this. I totally don't expect myself to get in the top 50. Maybe I could do 10,000 coal, but it could just be participation is what I I end up with. I didn't do too bad once, but I didn't really push keep playing said ship when I had a previous leaderboard. Yeah, we'll have to see. I really like Oregon because I really like Georgia. So, Clan Battles Season 30 with classified documents. Ooh, that starts the 16th of June to August 3rd. Take advantage of special mechanics that provide specific bonuses against particular ships. Didn't they already do this once? Or not classified? Was it classified documents? Is that what they introduced via the Pinata events? And then like I didn't feel like people were super. I think that's different. That's maybe it's a little different than this. I wonder how people will feel about this in Clan Battles. I don't really actively in Clan Battles. I usually do more on EU with my Gnome clan, not as much on my NA clan because I live in Norway, they're in North America, so I had to be on at like 1:30 in the morning. This will be 7v7, tier 10 ships, shocker, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. General restrictions, only battleships, destroyers, and cruisers are allowed, so no aircraft carriers or submarines, no more than one battleship per team. And starting out here, the restrictions are no Louisiana, Commissar, and Hildebrand. Very interesting, they're banning the hybrids. But they'll add to that because there's going to be more ships that are restricted. Like usually they restrict like Kleber's and maybe Ragnar or Marceau and Moskva or Petro, I don't know. Usually they put some limits on certain ship types. Yeah. Update of operations with flagships. You can now upgrade classified documents for greater efficiency. So we get a lot of PvE action, apparently. Update 14.5, operations with flagships continue to evolve. You can now upgrade classified documents to level 8 for more proficiency. When battling flagships and their fleets, each classified document provides attack and defense bonuses against specific flagships and their entourage. Classified document upgrade. Upgrade to level 8. So torpedo damage plus 22%, flooding damage plus 60%, risk of catching fire negative 60, damage taken from main battery shells negative 25%. Well, if they're testing this out, then that means they're looking at bringing it into the game in some permanent way. That's how wargaming works. The Dunkirk 1940 event continues. It will end the 18th of June, so you don't have much time left if you've been participating in this. I myself haven't messed with this. It's just a PvE activity, which you use these cards representing the ships of Dunkirk to carry out the evacuation of Allied troops from France to Great Britain. So basically, kind of the main reward, besides getting these cards and containers and some tokens, is getting the Tier 6 British destroyer, the Gallant. I already have it, so yeah. Brawls starts up the 16th of June, or the first Brawl starts up the 16th of June. Brawl 1 will be 4v4 with Tier 8 ships. Brawl 2, 5v5 with Tier 10 ships. In Brawl 3, Tier 3v3 versus in Tier 9 ships. So let's see, in Brawl 1 and 2 you can have aircraft carriers. Brawl 3 doesn't say anything about carriers. I don't think it's allowed. No submarines in the team. Don't tell me you can have submarines in a 3v3. Because these both say no submarines in the team, where Brawl 3 doesn't say. No more than 2 battleships, 2 cruisers. Oh, it's tier 9 ships. Right, it's always trying to catch the tier difference, right? So you don't have any cruiser or aircraft carriers or submarines at tier 9. So that's just insinuated here. So I have to catch tier difference, and I'm tired right now. Armory, content rarity, naval legacy, Independence Day, and more. I already covered content rarity and ship rotation and devlog. I'll link that video at the end, just because I wasn't super thrilled with it. I mean, to each their own, because I really don't understand why Wargaming's implementing this, and also the question I pose is who was asking for this. And it's one thing to note ships of like different rarity, and so they kind of create more of a value for ships that players don't have, or maybe make them try to get, but also for collectors to kind of like, yeah, you have this really rare ship like Smolensk or Georgia, Alaska, Massachusetts, or whatever, Wisconsin, the dockyard ships, but the ship rotation was more of kind of my issue. So this will start July 9th currently. So this is update 14.6. So I think they're just trying to get people up to speed on this. So that's why it's in this article, even though it doesn't belong with update 14.5. The rarity system is not a reflection of a ship's combat effectiveness. It is a means for players to assess the amount of effort needed to acquire content and identify exclusivity. Kitakame would be another ship that's like super rare, whatever that section is. And then they will release the ship rotation system also at update 14.6. Yeah, so there's a separate article. You can read that out. I'll have this article and the EU article in the description below. Trade-in is coming back starting the 25th of June, ending July 9th for NA. So this is, if you're new to this is if you have ships in your collection you don't use anymore, maybe you're interested to trade in that ship for a ship you've quote unquote have had your eye on for a while, but haven't been able to afford. So the trade-in feature is back to help you. So during the last 2 weeks of update 14.5, it'll be available as a special tab in the Armory. You'll have a chance to exchange particular ships you own for discounts and doubloons on premium or special ships that you don't have in your port yet. The list of ships up for exchange has been adjusted a little since the last trade-in. Exchange your tier 5 and up premium ships, including some rare ships. Half of your old ship's value in doubloons will be subtracted from the price of the new ship you buy. It's only possible to trade on one ship at a time. So it's like, you can't have, like, let's say you trade in a super rare tier 10 ship, and then you can't take the value of that tier 10 ship and then trade it for like 2 tier 5s. It would only go towards 1 tier 5, if that's the tier 5 you're wanting to get. Just as an example, so that you want to try to trade more tier for tier, so to speak, but again, keep in mind that half your ship's value in doubloons is subtracted. So like, the more rare the ship is, so as you go up to in tier, the more valuable that ship is. So dockyard ships are like considered quite valuable. So if to find out which ships you can trade or obtain, make sure to visit the development blog application so we can like look at that maybe real quick. What, it's just in the content rarity? Oh, they're just putting it in here. So don't be surprised if they kind of dock the value of a ship, or they deduct. New ships starting update, or starting in this update in the 25th of June, you'll be able to obtain the Commonwealth battleship, the Irresistible, for 62,000 research points. So this is going to fall in line with the price adjustment on the ships, because they're adjusting coal ships, doubloon ships, research bureau ships, and steel ships to a standardized pricing system. So some ships go up, some go down. So this already matches, like if it's a tier 10 ship, basically 62,000 research points. Let's see. Does it say what she has? 2 and 34mm guns. I'm gonna guess that she gets, what, 16? Maybe some on the back. In addition to the front, I'm supposing. Yeah, short main battery range, provides good damage per minute with her high explosive AP shells, coupled with decent accuracy. Low detectability, a calling smoke generator, which will come in handy given her vulnerable citadel, weak armor, and small HP pool. Overall, irresistible is intended for short to medium range fights to strategically use cover to quickly take down cruisers and destroyers. You also have the Wilhelm Dierste. Wilhelm Dierste is entering the Armory for 31,000 steel. It was a development of the G3 battlecruiser design, which could have been built in Britain in the 1920s. So it's a Dutch battleship. She gets 9 for 19mm guns. I'm wondering if it's the same as like Conqueror's 419s. Wait, main batteries sporting good accuracy and range despite not having the best caliber for her tier? How is 419s not best caliber for her tier? It feels like they're really digging, because like I think the standard for tier 10 battleships is like 406s. These are 419s. Wild. So apparently they're kind of referencing, like, I guess what, 457s, 460s, what, 483s, 509 and 510s. Yeah, introducing a lot of overmatch in the game since the days of pretty standard to have the 406s and 419s and 420s, I think. Yeah. Engine boost. Note that both ASW and standard airstrike will share the same charges. Ooh. I think they took away the ship. They had ship-based ASW on this boat, and they took that away to be reflected into actually air strike for the anti-submarine warfare. But interesting that they were going to share the same charges, so you'll be very hesitant to perhaps use them. But I think they had like 15-kilometer range on the airstrike, and it's the same with the ASW. So it looks pretty similar to what St. Vincent and Duncan. Maybe that's what the no, because St. Vincent and Duncan both have 457s, right? Hard time remembering it all. Battle of Peso de Patria containers return. Thank you, because I don't actually have this commander, because I think I went for something different with the tokens, and I had been waiting forever for this guy to get back. So halfway through update 14.5, you'll be able to grab the Battle of Peso de containers for 2,000 coal each, or 5x and 25x premium containers for 5,000, 20,000 doubloons respectively. The containers will be available permanently, and they offer a great chance to complete your collection. Finishing will bring you a unique commander, Joaquim Marques Lisboa, with 10 skill points. So he's the Pan-American commander, a legendary commander, unique commander, on the same levels as like, Halsey, Kuznetsov, and that. For, again, Pan-American ships, and it revolves around on the secondaries, so it makes your Pan-American ships a lot stronger, like San Martin, the Libertad. So I have plenty of coal, so I'm going to finish that off immediately. So that's great that they're finally bringing him back. I thought they'd bring him back like 2-3 months after that event ended, but it actually has taken much longer than I anticipated. If only I had known. Let's see, starting with this update, the Summer Festival will kick off. Get yourself ready for hot days of firepower, premium containers, special bundles full of doubloons that will bring you Days of Warships premium account, expendable economic bonuses, and permanent camouflage, among other valuable items. Moreover, these bundles will grant you summer tokens as a bonus, a way for you to get some rewards. Okay, so it looks like if you spend doubloons, you get the summer tokens, because they've been kind of finicky with this over the last year, or you could only get the special tokens if you at times spent only real money, not doubloons. Yeah, so okay, that's good to know. If people go for that. Special progress bar awaits you during the summer festival. Fill it with summer tokens to receive multiple rewards that get bigger with every level. To obtain additional summer tokens besides those from the bundles, complete special missions, and unlock the second progression line of the event pass. So they have summer tokens in the event pass. Active players will be able to reach level 9 and obtain the boom enemy destruction effect. The premium tier 6 ship. Oh, they're sort of referencing the event pass or whatever. Higher levels carry rewards like steel research points, tier 7, 8, 9 premium ships, and a special ship tier 10 elite container being the final reward. So they'll have a separate article on this coming soon. Naval Legacy. The Naval Legacy event is dedicated to the Johnson. So it looks like a sunken camouflage. Wait, no. She participated in numerous operations, but was sunk during an escort, which became known as the Battle off Samar. 3 sets of random bundles are available, and a chance to obtain Johnson and new ships to Nanning and Cambridge in GQ Johnny, a version of Johnson with historically accurate hull damage from her last battle. Owners of GQ Johnny will receive a small bonus, access to the 4-piece Still Standing collection that will reward you with historical commander Ernest Evans with enhanced skills, the GQ Johnny flag, and the corresponding achievements upon completion. So all Wargaming did was take the Johnston, copied and pasted it because that's basically, that defines Wargaming quite well, of a ship that was already really expensive to get, that they've now made expensive again, and the only difference is she looks sunk. Matching her historical damage? Historically accurate hull damage. Apparently you can put a price tag on such things. I didn't know. And not only that, if you get the ship, will you then receive, quote-unquote, a small bonus, the access to the 4-piece Still Standing collection. So they put this collection behind a paywall. To get Ernest Evans. So this is really targeting the collectors of the game who are very much historical buffs. I'm a big historical buff. I love this story. I have crap, where's the book? The Last Stand of the Tin Can Sailors. Amazing book. I actually about to finish it, and I'm looking over my shoulder and wondering where I put the book on my bookshelf. Amazing book, amazing author. I actually have a signed copy. My grandfather managed to nab a signed copy at the Nimitz Museum in Texas. And so it talks about him in the book. And I'm spacing the name of the author. Yeah, James D. Hornfisher. I was like, why am I spacing his name right now? So, not a fan of Wargaming putting a collection behind a paywall. So the way you get the GQ Johnny is 3 sets of random bundles are available. Oh, I'm gonna have to see this. I want to know if it's did the different bundles have different chances of dropping the ship. So the Still Standing collection. I like getting the collections. It kind of sucks they put this behind a paywall. How much is the ship? Or no, it's 3 sets of random bundles. What is the... Do they have that up yet? The boom. No. I was wondering if they had a separate article already on this. Okay, let's keep reading. I might be jumping ahead here. starting with update 14.7 in August. So they put this up. It's for update 14.5. So they oh wow, they really treated this like an early like tech tree access. So for if you're really like true player historical buff, you'll pay outright to get all these bundles for the chance of pulling the Johnson 2 months ahead of advance. Before then they make it free starting in August of update 14.7. Continuing through the end of the year, you can take part in a special campaign that rewards regular play, and you can earn this destroyer for free. If you already own it, you'll receive steel as compensation. We'll share more details closer to the release of update 14.7. This will be a one-time anniversary-focused event, and we don't currently have any similar campaigns planned for future naval legacy ships. You'll be also able to directly purchase the Johnston in the Armory shop, while landing in Cambridge will only be available in the premium shop. Okay, so that's good to note. So, but how much? I don't even remember how much Johnson was when they released it last year, I think it was. But okay, but I'll give Wargaming, like, tip my hat that the fact that they are gonna let you get the ship for free, but again, they're doing this early access thing, so you know, so many players end up spending money to get it through, and how many random bundles do they have to get through in order to get the ship? Because I'm like, don't make my Ernest Evans locked behind a paywall. This is about to be upset, even more so. But early access, Wargaming being Wargaming. Can't say much there. Independence Day, starting the 4th of July, as we need to wrap this video up. It features Wings of Freedom premium containers, plus thematic random bundles for doubloons with numerous permanent camouflages for US ships. You'll also be able to get Independence tokens through these bundles, as well as via special mission chains. You can use Independence tokens to purchase additional bundles with the Long Time No See Eagles permanent camouflage for the Tier 10 American light cruiser, as well as USS Florida charged sequential bundles with a flag, which can be yours for doubloons. Wow. A lot of stuff in this event update. Star Trek collaboration returns the 18th of June. So, yeah, just over a week away. Another exciting chapter in our collaboration. Is there anything new? The Queen's Diamond permanent camouflage for Yamato. USS Voyager for Salem. USS Enterprise D for Enterprise, and more. To boldly go in a simulated camouflage are also available in the Starfleet and Borg styles, respectively. I kind of liked those camouflages, if I remember them correctly. I think they're like future tech looking. Like I have one on Kremlin. Also, if you haven't completed the Star Trek, commemorative flags for the Klingons, Vulcans, and other factions, plus unlock the Star Trek port. If you haven't done so already, yeah, and you can finish the Space, the Final Frontier collection, if you didn't manage to finish it last time we had this collaboration. Content addition and changes: Commander Ruby Monroe with an individual voiceover. Commanders Clint Fletcher and John Warden. Experimental ships, Group 1 flag, triple detonation, enemy destruction effect. Japanese Squadron and Japanese Squadron premium containers added to the game. Okay. Update 14.5 will also bring changes to settings for domination mode. Yes. With the aim of reducing the number of cases where battles end too quickly because, you know, one team throws, or one team sucks, or one team's not just sucks, but the other team is just really good. They've posted about this in the development blog, so it's basically they're changing around the points, and I think they're standardizing the points for all ships that are sunk will be the same. The contents of Firepower Premium in Wings of Freedom and Wings of Freedom Premium Container and Battle of Peso de Patria Premium Containers will be changed with release update 14.5. You can see what's changing here. I'm not going to look at it. Royal Sovereign, British Battleship Tier 7. Arkhangelsk, Soviet Battleship Tier 7. Barfleur, British destroyer tier 9. Laffy, American destroyer tier 10. Sibir, Soviet battleship tier 10. And Amil Latig, French cruiser tier 10, were added for testing by developers, volunteers, and community contributors. So, if you see those, you know what's up. Other changes, they fixed a bug sometimes cause players to be able to research experimental ships even if they were already unlocked. Reduced the minimum number of mines needed to eliminate minefield in operation with flagships. Fixed a bug that sometimes prevented players from saving consumable slot order settings. Fixed a visual bug with the post-clan battle ratings change screen. Fixed a tooltip for one of the Dutch unique commander Conrad Helfrich's skills in battle. So, a lot of content with this update. Part of the standard, I mean, it's the same for all games pretty much. You know, as summertime comes, you don't have as many players around. So this looks like it's kind of Wargaming's way to try to get people engaged throughout the summer. If not necessarily by playing the game, at least financially involved with the game via the premium shop in the Armory. So that's update 14.5. Overall, I would say pretty okay updates. I would have critiqued it more if they hadn't made GQ Johnny, if it was only going to be available behind the collection behind the paywall, because I'm quite fond of naval war history, especially from World War II. So yeah, a lot of opportunities to spend money, all said and done this summer, if you're up for it. But otherwise, maybe some decent opportunities here. So if you liked today's video, give a thumbs up. If you didn't, give a thumbs down. Subscribe if you do want to see more. If you're subscribed, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Thank you to my Patreon supporters. Until next time, take care.